It is exciting to see every one of you once again. Welcome back to this website design training. So my name is Johnson Toluwani. For those that are just joining us, I believe you've been seeing the other videos pertaining to this training. Please, you are advised to actually go to these videos one after the other so you could understand all that we are talking about. And it wouldn't be strange for you when we move over to the WooCommerce website like this, designing the e-commerce website where you could sell some certain things actually. So this is the preliminary aspect of it, and we believe that this is going to benefit you in so many ways. All right, without further ado, just go to continue where we stopped in the previous training. We've started with customizing our theme. All right, we installed an Astra theme. I showed in the last video how you could actually get that done. We've actually installed a local server, we've installed the WordPress, we've prepared everything. In fact, we've actually get to set the background. All we just needed to do now is to show you the layout and all other things and how to make it responsive. Okay, so let's dive into the class. All right, so like we all know, the first thing to actually do is to start your local server. If not, it will not work. Okay, so that is what we're going to do now. Starting the local server. Then the Apache, you're going to start it. The MySQL, like I said earlier, you're going to start it also. These are the major tools that you actually get to go with this. So after doing that, then you log into the website. If you have been following, you log into it by entering localhost / the folder of the website. All right, so in this case we have Netflix as ours. All right, so I'm going to load it. I'm going to log in to continue from where we actually get stopped. All right, so just follow me while this is loading. So while this is actually loading, I'm going to load the Netflix website because I am connected to the internet. This is the Netflix website. So this is actually what we are trying to do. So for those of you that have not downloaded your project files, you don't really need to get your project files yourself, as the project files have been made available. Please just refer to the comment section, or you get to the description in this video. Okay, so you could get your file, or you could get to refer back to the Telegram group where other informations are being disseminated. Okay, so I would just we just go to continue from where we stopped in the last video. Okay, and I trust we could just finish everything today. All right, so while we wait for this, while it's still loading. Okay, so we're not just loading the Netflix page per se. In the last video, I explained earlier that what we actually get to do is enter Netflix / WP admin. That is the default. Login page for WordPress websites. And in the last video, I also said something about teaching you the security measures on how to keep your websites safe. And so probably we're going to get everything done today. Okay, and we'll actually look into how to give it a custom login link. You understand, the permalink, so that we wouldn't rely on the default login page. Okay, wow, I'm having a database error, so something is wrong somewhere. So I just want to go and check. You could see the SQL is not started, so I'm just going to start the SQL and ensure it is running. If not, we will not have a connection with the database. All right, so I'm going to reload this, and I'm going to reload this also. So having reloaded, we should be able to connect to the database. So like I explained in the previous videos, I think in the second video, I said something about everything you're doing on your website, all are being saved in the database, all right? So let's check. Something is actually wrong. I wouldn't know what was wrong with this database. It keeps stopping. And we're going to check, we're going to look at it all together. Okay. All right, our database is okay now. And this is where we stop. You can see the blank page liking to all of this. So in no time, we are going to see everything this way also, okay? All right, so I'm going to reload this again. Oh, there's an update. I think because I am connected to the internet, so I might just need to disconnect my internet for a while so that this would not stop what we are actually doing. All right, so I'm going to enter the link again. Netflix WP admin. All right, so we're going to just log in. So you could actually log in with your own credentials, all right? So we'll just continue straight up. We created the pages, so we'll now start to populate the pages. But before we do that, in the previous video I explained we're going to start by configuring the Elementor. Now Elementor comes in two different setup for your drag and drop system, okay? The first one is a flex system and the other one is a block system. So we're going to stick to the block system, all right? So I'm going to show you where to actually get that done, okay? So this is actually our website here. You can see there's nothing here yet. So we'll start building it one after the other. Okay, so I'm just going to go to settings directly, Elementor settings. So from the Elementor settings, we'll get to do some other stuff. I think for now, I'm just going to disable the Elementor Pro so I wouldn't get you confused with what you would rather see on your own end. So we'll go to the features. Now here are some of the features. I may not be able to explain everything because of the time. I just wanted to go straight to the point, okay? Now the optimized control loading, just want it to be active, okay? So another thing we really need to do here, floating buttons, we needed it to, okay, the floating button needed flex box. So what we're actually looking for is to deactivate the flex box. There is actually a look. Maybe I should show you how it looks, the difference between the flex box. Okay, the flex box, let me just explain a little. The flex box actually shows you is a more developed system from the block system, okay? The block system allows you to create your layout and customize your layout, but the flexbox does the layouting automatically. It's not like you wouldn't have to do the layouting. Yes, you would do the layouting. So when it comes to responsive website, flexbox has come to play here, okay? So you wouldn't have to start configuring your other resolutions for other devices. So the Flexbox actually takes care of that one. So in a situation whereby you actually want your website to be customized in your own way without the use of Flexbox, that was the reason why we're trying to disable the Flexbox. So we just headed for where to disable the Flexbox, okay? So the lazy load background, we're going to activate it. The lazy load actually helps your images to load. So the images that are important are loaded while the other ones remain. So this is part of the things that helps your website to load very fast also when it comes to optimization, okay? All right, so there is one more thing that we really needed to do. Okay. Floating stable. Yes, this is the Flexbox container, so we're just going to make it inactive, okay? We're going to deactivate it so we can actually make use of the full features of the drag and drop system so that you would really understand what it actually means by a layout. Okay, so this settings is actually still going on to ensure that we have it deactivated. So we've actually deactivated the flexbox. You can see the flexbox container, right? So if you remember earlier when I started explaining, there are some websites you get to, you see the way some certain things, items are being represented on the desktop. Probably, let's say you have a box, and another box this way. And then when you move into a tablet, you see two boxes, the third one drops down, understand? So maybe when you get to mobile phones, you just see just one box, the other boxes drops underneath. That is what actually Flexbox does for you automatically. But in this case, we're going to configure all of the resolutions one after the other. So you could actually have an overall ability to do all that is needed for you to do, okay? So having done all of that, I'm going to save this, okay? Then I will head over to, okay, so that is all for the settings in Elementor, okay? So all we just need to do now is to start building the website itself, okay? All right, so in the next 1 hour we should be able to finish up. So having done all of that, the next thing we do is yes, we actually need the header and the footer. Yes, we needed that to start running. So if you have installed the header and the footer also, that is inside the plugin, let me check. Okay, it's activated. So I'm just going to go to the settings of this header and the footer. That is where we're going to configure this header. This is the header aspect. All right, this is the header where you have this Netflix icon, where you have the sign in button, okay? And the footer, this is the footer section here also. So this is all that we're going to do. We're going to set that up, then I'm going to show you. So in doing that, I'm just going to click on this button to add new. All of this, you could just actually skip it. All right, so we just add new, and so once you add new, then you would give it a title. So we're going to have two titles. We're going to have the title for the header and the title for the footer. All right, so that is just what I'm going to do. As you can see, I'm offline, I'm off internet. All right, so I'm going to name this header. So I'm going to say Netflix header. So whichever name you want to do yours, just ensure there is a header, should in case you needed to get it adjusted over time. Okay, so the type of header we're trying to do, you're going to select header. So now this place takes care of where this particular element is going to show on the website. All right, so it's going to display on the entire website. Okay, so if you're actually building a website and you do not want it to show on some pages, so this is where you just do add an exclusion. If you say entire website, then you can add an exclusion, and with this exclusion you can select the pages you wouldn't want this header to appear. Let's say you want to maybe in your website you're building, you're having more than one header, different type of header. In a situation whereby, for example, you want your header, maybe you're having a kind of a transparent header on the landing page, and maybe on the other pages you want to have some sort of other designs, so this is how you could actually get that done. Okay, so you could say entire website, or you could select a particular page or post, whichever the case is. Maybe the front page, excuse me please, maybe the front page, you could actually get that done. All right, so for the user, you don't really need anything about that. So here are some of the attributes. Also the template, we need the Elementor full width. All right, so every other thing you can just leave it as is. So the transparent header, we're just going to activate the transparent header. Now I explained in the previous video that the transparent header actually works in such a way that there is no background on the header. It laps over whatever content it falls on, so it makes everything transparent. Now if you take a look at this website here, this is the hero page. You could see that the hero page is just behind this header section. This header section is actually transparent, so that is what we are actually going to do here. By the time we come up here, we're going to do that. So this home, we're going to take it off, but when we get here, I'm going to show you how we are to take it off. All right, so when you're done with this, I'm going to publish this. for it to be live for us to edit. Okay, so I'm going to be editing this Netflix header with Elementor also. Like I told you, Elementor is actually a builder, so it helps you to build your website to the fullest. You understand? So once I publish that, I'm going to create the one for the footer also. I'm going to get that created. A. So I'm just going to add another one, and I'm going to name it Netflix footer. I just showed you the footer on the main Netflix page, right? Okay, so now you could see Netflix Nigeria, watch, and all of this. So I think in the previous video, I explained the title, how it works with your browser, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to correct everything and have everything done. So I'm going to say Netflix footer here. All right, so where does it want to appear? I will say footer and display on all websites. So this is the easiest way to actually have your header and footer instead of designing each page and setting the header and the footer of your website. Okay, so I'm going to make the template to be full width. I explained that in the previous video, so please you could actually get back to the previous video to get to understand it better before coming here on this video. Okay, so having done all of this, I've gotten it published. So once it's done this way, I will head over to the header. Then we'll start designing the header before we go to the main page to have it designed. Okay, all right, so we'll just go back to the header and the footer. Okay, all right, so I'll just go back. Just believe you're following, right? Okay, so I'll just go back to where we have the header. Then we're going to design our own header. Okay, the header is loading now. Okay, so while that one is loading, I just want to explain some features here. Now we have the first, apart from the header, we have the hero page. This is the hero page. And there is another thing I really wanted you to know. Let's say you have a website, you wanted to look at informations on, you want to pick some information about the font size and some other things, the kind of font they use. So this is what you could do. You could click on Ctrl Shift and C on your computer to have something on this side. So with this, you can actually inspect. Another way to get that done is to right click on your computer and go to inspect. When you inspect, you also have the same thing. So then you come over here to where you have this icon. You could change to see several views, how it's going to look on mobile views, how it's going to look on whichever device you are trying to make use of. All right, so we'll just continue with that. So this first button here helps you to highlight or select any element to see their information. So you can actually see the CSS information here. Okay, so having this, you could see the information also here too. We could see the font size is 36 pixels, and the font is Netflix Sun. So how do we get Netflix Sun? Another way to get your Netflix Sun, you could actually go to Google and search for Google fonts. You can search for Google fonts. So at this junction, I'm going to put on my internet again, and I'm going to put it on so we can download the Netflix. I'm going to download the Netflix Sun. Okay, so this is Google fonts. Then we're going to search the Netflix Sun in Google fonts. Netflix Sun. So we're going to search for it. See. Not sure that these guys have Netflix Sun here. You cannot find any font. So some other places you could actually find fonts. Netflix Sun fonts. download. You can actually get this done, then you could get it wherever the font is available. I want to believe it could be for free. All right. Okay, so I think we have a Netflix sun here, and this is how the Netflix sun looks like. Okay, so let's get it downloaded. Gonna close this, then let me just close this also, so I can download in my native download. Oh no. Okay, let me just get it done this way. I'm going to download the board. I'm going to download the board. I'm also going to download the regular. Yes, the regular. And then I'm going to download the lights. I'm going to download the lights also. Okay, so having done that, let's check for some other fonts that we could have here. Okay, I think the whole font that was used here was Netflix Sun. All right, Netflix Sun was what they use, and they fall back on Helvetica New. Helvetica New, so those are the fonts, so these are the informations. This is how you can see the button size, you can see the width and all of that. So we'll come back here soon again. All right, so let's get to edit this Netflix Sun here. We'd see there's a way we could actually upload a font into the website. But before we continue with that, okay, I'm just going to show us how layouting works here. Okay, now I want you to assume, take this, it's very important. Okay, for every desktop there is an imaginary 12 space. Okay, 12 space. For a tablet we have 6, and for a mobile phone we have 4. All right, so when I click add new, you can see the 12 here. All right, so these are kind of layout. This has been divided into 3, that's 3 on equal parts, 4 on equal parts to make it 12. You could actually see this, right? So if you go back to the website here, what we're actually looking for is a full page, right, with this in the middle. So if we're going to do this, we could actually select, because this is empty, and there is a content here. So in doing that, what we're going to do is, let's look for the one that would actually fit into some of this. Okay, I think this goes, or this actually goes. All right, so we have something of this nature. We have a free space here, we have a free space here. When you click on this, you see the whole item that you can actually add up here. Now when you scroll down, you could see that all of these other items here, some of these other items are actually a paid plan. Okay, you've got to pay for it, you got to get paid. You pay for all of this to actually make use of them. That is the Elementor Pro. You could actually get that from a GPL plugin. All right, so what we get to do now is, if you take a look at this, there is a picture on the background, right? There's a picture on the background this way. All right, so what we're going to do first, since we are trying to design the header, so for the header, this is our major look. You see this, you can see this, right? So how many space do we really need here now? So that is, in designing our header, we'll actually remove this and see. So let's divide it into the 12. That's 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means each of it is like 2. You understand? So let's, if we have our button here, and if we have our sign in here, we could actually have the same thing here. All right, so in order to replicate this, that is all we needed to do. So over here, I'm going to search for logo. All right, so I'm going to drag in a logo here, so I can make the logo a custom logo, so I can select the kind of logo I really wanted here. Just follow up, okay? So when I drag in a logo here and this other side, I'm going to type in a button. I'm going to type in a button here. All right, so from this button, I'm going to drag it in here. Now, there are some other settings that is needed to do. You remember in the previous video, we customized some buttons, right? But some of the customs are not actually working with this Elementor unless we turn it off for it to use the theme icon. So in order to do that, we can actually get to check here in the settings here, in this settings here, right? So we can hide the title, okay? That one is a normal thing to do. All right, so we come to this side here. We come to user preference. Okay, show hidden elements. No. Exit to post. No, exit to dashboard. So that is when we are exiting here. That is what we're going to have. All right. So mind you, the more you're working, the more this is going to be saving your work while you work. All right. Okay, so let's see the site settings. All right, so the site settings, we're going to look at the buttons. So in order for theme style to affect all relevant Elementor elements, please disable font color and font from the settings page. So let's go back to the settings page. All right, let's go back to it. So I'm just going to duplicate this page so I can go back. All right, so I'm duplicating this page and I'll use this other one to go back. All right, so I'm just going to exit. Just going to exit here. There's the exit button. That's a 6 attract, no? All right, so this is the exit here. So we're just going to exit into this dashboard directly. So we'll go back into Elementor to turn that off, all right, so that everything we set for the theme will be affected on that, all right? So we didn't check integration. So for the integration, you can actually embed your map using your Google Map API. You can actually put it here. We don't go into that, so that was the reason why I wouldn't actually explain. All right. So I'm going to disable default colors. I believe you can see that, right? So checking this box will disable Elementor's default color and make Elementor inherit the colors from your theme. You remember we've actually set the colors in the theme, right? That is the Astra theme. So I'm going to disable this and I'm going to disable the font so it can take from Astra, all right? So having done this, I'm going to save it. Then we'll come back to this place. I'm going to update this also. Then I'm going to reload this page. Then we'll continue with our editing. All right, now you can see we have a red button here. That was because this red button has been set up already from the Astra setup. All right, so I will just go back to, we will just come back here. All right, okay, there's something I'm actually looking at for. Yeah, so here we are. So what we're going to do, you click on this. So this is where you can actually put the link, but since we don't have a link yet, we can just leave it hash. All right, so the button ID, for those that knows how to make use of your CSS and your HTML, should in case you just want to have a custom development, or kind of you want to have a custom design using the CSS, you could actually give it a CSS ID. Those of you that knows the CSS ID and class and all of that, so that is the use of all this. So here we're going to write sign in. I think that is what we have here. So we sign in. All right, so we're going to effect the same thing here. All right, they sign in here. All right. So when you come to this style, that is likened to the CSS. So we come to the middle. You can see the way we're dropping it gradually. You stretch it. So we don't have to stretch. So we just leave it the way it is here. Come to the middle. All right. So we don't have to check the other setting because the main settings for the button, both the roundness of the button, the font in the button, the width of the button, the padding and the margin, I explained all of this in the previous video. Please, you could refer to that so we don't have to repeat some of the things we've actually gone through in the past video. Okay, so having done that, there is something we really need to do. We really need to bring this to the middle here. And how do we do that? We go to the advanced section here. Okay, now this is where you can actually put your CSS ID and your class, that is to control the whole of that segment. All right, so we're going to set the position. So the position, we leave it as default. It shouldn't be fixed. All right, so the next thing, some of these things you could actually just go free with it. Okay, you could actually transform, change. If I were to put it in absolute, that means I can move it anywhere, but it's not a good thing to just make your website full of absolute design. Okay, so for the typography, I believe it's going to pick from the settings we had earlier on. Okay, that is in the Astra. All right, so we really needed to bring this button down a little, make it stay in the middle. So how do we get to do that? You could see what I click here to show that this setting here is to actually set the whole of this. So what we're going to do is you come to vertical alignment, then you make it middle. You can see it has dropped to the middle and it's in the same line with all of this. So we could actually do the same thing here and we'll make it stay in the middle. It's already in the middle actually. So once we're done with this, I think we're good with this. All right, we're going to click on updates, then we reload this page to see how it looks here. Now you can see we're gradually going. Okay, all right, the next thing to do, so with this, now we are done with this header. Okay, so once we're done with the header here. All right, so we're just going to exit also to the back to the dashboard. All right, so we'll come to appearance, then you come to Elementor header and footer again. All right, so then we've got to go edit that of the footer. So you could actually edit directly here, and should in case you've edited it before, you will just see edit with Elementor direct. So because we've not actually edited it before, that is the reason why we're seeing it this way. Okay, so I click on edit, then I will say edit with Elementor. So we just go ahead and continue with Elementor. So now this is the footer we're trying to work with now. I hope you have not forgotten. This is the footer we're trying to work with. All right, so in the footer, let's take a look at the Netflix footer, the way it looks. How many segments do we have here? We have major 4 segments. So let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and the last one here, which is a sixth space. That is one thing with layouting. This is an imaginary space. Okay, this is one that has a content here. There's another one with the content, another one with the content, another one with the content. Okay, so what we'll get to do next is this. We're going to select that the way we did here from this ad. Mind you, you could actually choose blocks here. If you have your pages already outside, you could actually bring them in. These are pre-configured pages. You can see all of them have pro here, and that is if you needed any one of them, that means you need to get a pro plugin. But we're not going to be using any of these things. These are actually predefined layout and pages. So if we have a template or we save a template, everything will be here. All right, so we just click on this. Then since we have 4 layouts there, right? So what we get to do is it 4? Is 6? Is 6? This is 1. This is 2. This is 3, 4, 5, and another space. making in the sixth space here. So we're going to select this instead. You could see what we're doing, right? So we get this done. This space, you will enter this information here. All the informations that are here, they are the ones we're going to enter into this space here. So in doing that, you search for outline or you search for list. Yes, you could see this is an icon that would do that function for us. Okay, you could see all of this, right? So this is what we're going to do. So in this case, we're going to remove the icons. We're going to remove the icons. You could actually do for one and you duplicate for others. All right, so we're going to remove the icons. You are deleting the icon here. So we're deleting the icon. If you could remember, we already tell the Astra from the setup that every link that is seen, there should be no underline on it. Okay, so we actually did that on purpose. For me, I don't really like underline when you have a link, but it's actually a very good practice for anyone to know that this is actually a link. You understand? And it actually distinguishes a link from any other regular text. Okay, so let's just go on. So with the first content here, what do we have? We have question or contact us. All right. So we're going to do that also. So before we continue with this listing, this one is actually staying on its own. Then we could actually put it together. So the first one is this. That's question or contact us. It's going to have a link. So we're going to put hash as a link to make it look like a link. Here we could see that this link is in red. That was because we set our links to be in red colors. So let's see if we can overwrite it here from the CSS we have here. So the CSS we have here, can we change it? You could see we just changed it now. So this is how you could actually overwrite some certain things with your CSS. All right. Okay. So we've done that. We'll come back to the content. We'll look for the second one. So what do we have there? So I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to do for all of this. So for those that will be watching this video later, you could actually forward it. All right. So I'm going to do it this way. Okay. I'm going to forward it. I'm going to paste all of this. So this is one of the most important things you do to settle your setup before you start your website. So by the time we start building the other things, then we don't have an issue. Okay. Speed test. No, this is where it's supposed to be. Okay, this is a speed test. All right. So that's so for this now. This is a language. This is a language stuff. It has to do with a plugin. We don't really have it here, but if you would have to do that, there are some other plugins you could actually get to do that function. Okay, to actually get some other plugins to do that for language switching and all of that. So what we're going to skip that. Okay, we're going to skip that because I don't think there is anything that has to do with language here. Let's give it a try and see. Elementor would have been updated. Okay, let's try a drop down. There's nothing like drop down here. Okay, so we just leave that. We just have to skip it and just go on. Okay, so the last one is Netflix Nigeria. Let's not forget that all of these are leading to a particular links, right? So that's how you build your website and you put them to different link you want. So we come here to re-edit, and I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to paste this into it. All right, so I'm going to enter hash there. I think this also should have an hash. The hash just make it looks like there's something there. Okay, but it's not actually leading anywhere. Okay, so let's say you have some other pages. All you just need to do is go there and type the name of the page. It will automatically pop up. Then you select it, or if you know the link of the page you wanted to go to, maybe you have an external website you wanted to link. You understand? You bring the link to the website into this link here. So that is how you actually get that done. All right, so I'm just going to put hash there as our link. Okay, so we proceed to the next part All right, the next part is a help center. All right, if you take a look at this, you could see that all of these are on a straight line. So that means this first one, we're going to remove it and put it on a straight line with others. All right, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so now with this place, you can actually duplicate this, okay, and bring it in here to make your work faster. You know, you work smart, not how far you walk. You walk smart, okay. So I'm just going to paste this here. Now you could see that this actually starts on the first page here, but what we're actually looking at is not supposed to start on this first page here. All right, so I'm going to show you what to do in order to get that done. All right, so let's just continue, and in no time I'm going to do that. So I'm going to continue with this. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to paste this. You know, we already have a hash there earlier, right? So I'm going to do this, duplicate, okay. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this also. Okay, so just copy this. Okay, so let's have it in here. Okay, I think we're done with that, right? So the next thing to do here is to move over to account. So in order to continue, you're going to duplicate this also. Then you bring it over to this side. All right, so I'm going to just paste this over. Then I'll come here again, copy, come here, edit, and paste. All right, so if you're doing this with some other links, do ensure to remember, so you could edit the link. But here I'm doing this because all the links, the supposed link here are ash. All right, so okay, that's why I'm actually duplicating. You could actually duplicate them, but remember to change their link so you don't have a wrong link in your work, right? Okay, so 1 2 3 4. All right, so this is 1 2 3 4. Okay, so we're going to be doing some readjustment. Okay, so the four column will actually be in the middle. We wouldn't start with that. That was the reason why we are having something like this. So I'm still going to duplicate this again. Okay, then I'm going to bring it here. So I'm just going to take this last one and bring it to this side. You can see the four are actually in the middle, right? You can actually see that, right? Okay, so all right, so in order to align everything alongside with this page size, that is a function of the page padding. All right, so let's just continue with this. So there's something I'm going to do here. I'm going to make this page a full instead of box. You can see everything is aligned now. All right, so we're done with this. Okay, let's just populate this. So media center. So I'm going to paste this here as the media center. Then I'm going to copy this other one here. Then we're going to do that. One thing about this WordPress is this. I wouldn't say you would be limited based on what you know. So you just keep updating yourself. There's some certain things you get to improvise. You understand? You just want to go far. There's some certain things you need to improvise instead of buying teams and editing teams. These are simply what you get to do, and it makes your work so very easy. So we're going to remove this first one here. So we're going to put it on a new line. So I'm going to delete this so that all of this can actually be together. All right. So in order to do that, one beautiful thing I can actually do is I'm going to do this. You can actually create a full page like this. Okay. Then you come here and you drop this in. All right. So this actually shows like you are having a layout inside another layout. I believe you're understanding that. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. Then this one I'm going to make it 4. I'm going to duplicate it so we have 4. So you would understand better now. You see, I've duplicated this, and I'm going to make this one, I'm going to make this main one full like I did for the other one, right? So I'm going to move every one of these into this box. I believe you've seen what I'm doing. It's just to improvise. That is all you need to do when it comes to WordPress, okay? So I'm going to delete this. So over here, I can now have my text. So I can bring my text, maybe paragraph, or I can actually use the outline or the list rather. So I could just use one list here. Then I'm going to, or better still, let me just delete this. I'm going to duplicate this. Let me duplicate this one with few words. I'm going to drag it into this place. All right. So then I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to open this. Then I'm going to paste what I copied last. So now you can see that we have everything the way it is arranged here, right? So another thing to do, you could notice that there is a line above here. So what this line was actually created by inserting a border. All right, there's something that is called a border, like around this top layer. So this top layer here, we want to have a border. So in having our border, the thing to do here is this. You go to style, then you come to border. So on this border, we are just going to make the border a solid one. You can see there's a solid thing around it. So what we're going to do next is this. The border width for the top, we'll put a 2. So everything is 2 now. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this. This button is like a chain icon that connects everything. So when you type in something here, every other one takes in the same thing. So having disconnected, you can individually impute stuff into this place. So every one of them is going to be 0. Just the top, let's give it 5. You could see just the top one is affected now. I believe you're getting this right. So I'm going to make it this 10, or let's say 8. Is it of the same size with it? So if you want to check, you can actually go back to inspect that page and see the size of the, you can actually come here, you select this to see the size of this. You could see, so the size is actually how many pixels? I think 6 pixels was what they used. That is a 1348 by 6. All right, so that is the length by the height. Okay, so in order to do that, so that means the border is going to be 6, so we're going to make use of 6. All right, so we change the color also. I told you about the color dropper. Okay, for the color dropper. So for those that uses window, you can actually make use of the color dropper. So I am going to activate my color dropper from my window. Okay, so that is a Windows Shift C to bring in my color dropper, so I can pick this precise color here. All right, so I'm going to copy the hex code. All right, I'm going to paste the hex code here to have the same color of that part. All right, so once we're done with this, let's reload our page and see how it looks. You can see we have the same thing here. I believe you're understanding this, right? So all of these are actually here. You see, you can see we're having the same thing as that of the Netflix here, right? Okay, so let's go on. Let's go on and impute the other things that are needed. So every other thing here, every other segment here are going to be in the home page. All right, so we'll just go to the pages, go to all pages, then we'll select home and we edit. That is just what we needed. Just edit, then we edit with Elementor. We edit with Elementor. So while we wait for Elementor to load, we could actually see our footer here, and we could see our header. So the first thing to do is the hero section. This is the hero section. I need you to pay a very keen attention here so you would understand how this thing works. Okay, there is a background image and there is an overlay on the image before all of this text come up. Okay, so I'm going to do something. Just follow me closely. So we are done with this actually. I've updated it so I can close this. We are done with our footer. All right, we're done with the header and we're done with the footer. So the next thing to do here is to click. Now, if you take a look at this, the Netflix, this is a whole large space, right? If you look at it, it's basically divided into three. This is the first part. This is the first part here, and the second part in the middle, and the third part here. All right. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pick a three system layout. So I think this is okay for a three system layout for us. You could actually see this, right? So now, what we're going to do now is this. For this page I was selected, we'll actually make some adjustments. Okay, this is the home. Now we're going to, this is the layout here. We're going to make the layout full width so that it can fill the whole screen. Okay, we needed it to be underneath this Netflix here. All right, if you remember, we had it set to transparent header, right? Okay, so we're going to do this. Then I'm going to make this full width also. I believe you're following gradually. There's no need for you to stretch it, okay? Then we're going to make this, we can just say this is a section. Actually, this is a section, okay? All right, so the next thing to do, we can actually define this with this height. If you just want it to be like this, we can actually have it defined. So let's see the height. Let's see the height. We are going to expect and see the height of this space. So the height is 525 pixel. That is the height. So we're going to define our own height. So this is how you define your own height. You come back to this page, you click here, okay? Then you come to height. You come here, then you say minimum height. All right. So for your minimum height, this is where we're going to write it, 525. You can see it has given us the precise height as that of the other one. All right. So that's the first step. Then the second step, the second thing to do, you know, that place has it has words like this, right? So we're going to copy all of these words. We're going to copy everything. Then we'll come back here. We'll click on this icon to review everything that is to review all the drag and drop elements. So we drag this and drop to the middle. Okay, you come to this place, you highlight, then you paste what we have there. So never mind about centralizing, I'm going to show you. So if you look at this element, this is an H1 element if I'm not mistaken. So let's inspect it and see again. So you come and click on this icon here so that you can inspect. So this is okay, it's actually a H1. You could see it is an H1 element paragraph. Is an H1 with a font 36 pixel. All right, so let's come back here. It's an H1, so we change this to H1. Okay, so we come to the CSS, which is setting, we centralize it. I believe you can see how it's going gradually. So the typography, we may not really need that. So we don't have Netflix here, but we're still going to take care of that. Let's quickly go to settings. Let's see how we can actually bring in, or we might not be able to bring in our own font because we are using a free version of Elementor. But let's give it a try and see. There's nothing wrong in giving it a try to see. Okay. Okay. Who's asking us to log in? Is the time expired? So this is for our website, all right? So okay, let's just log in. The time is up. Okay, so I'm just going to log in here. So once I log in, then I continue with what I'm doing, all right? So I'm going to duplicate this page. One of these pages to see the progress of what we're doing, and this other one is to go back to the admin page, all right? Just want to check up on the settings and see if we can actually bring in a font so we can have everything done exactly the way it is. Okay, so let's come to Elementor. Let's see if we can actually have a place custom fonts. Let's see if we'll be allowed to add our custom font. Okay, now you can see what I said. To have a custom font, you have to upgrade to the pro version. So I'm not going to do that because I wouldn't want to confuse you, so you wouldn't see my own looking nice, and because you are using a free version of Elementor, you'll be wondering where you have made any error. Okay, so just continue with the font we have. I think the other font that was there is let's look at the alternative font. That's a Helvetica. So let's see if we can get Helvetica as a font. That's Helvetica. Let's see. Okay, so there's an Helvetica as a font, so it's actually looking very close to it. So the font size is a 36 pixel. Okay, so we have the font size at 6 pixel, and it's a bold one. You can see it's a bold one. So I think we are done here with this part. So the next one is to copy. So I'm going to hit exit. Is to copy this other thing here. So let's see the size of that also. We're going to inspect and see its size also of this font. So this is actually a paragraph font and is a 18 pixel. You could see the font, right? 18 pixel. The next one is 15 pixel. So the first one is 18 pixel. The next one is 15. So this is a paragraph. So I'm going to copy this, come over here, then I'll drag in a paragraph. This is a text. Okay, drag it in here. This is a paragraph. All right, so I'll copy all of this and paste. All right, so I'll come to centralize it here. We'll make the typography also to be Helvetica. Helvetica will make it 18. All right, so it's in the middle now, and it's having 18. So the next one we're going to do is to drag another one. We'll actually duplicate this, duplicate it, and then let's copy what we have here and copy here. And this one is 15, right? If you're following, you would understand. So this is 15, and we'll come to the CSS aspect of it. Then we're going to say 15. We're going to select 15. Okay, something is actually wrong here. I'm actually supposed to paste it as is. Okay, let me delete this. You see, it's better now. So you don't paste it directly. I pasted the value of what was supposed to be there. Okay, so there's something. If you take a look at this, the space are very wide compared to this one. They are kind of very close here, while the one we have here is wide, right? So what are we going to do? The thing to do here is this. There is something that is called font height. We're going to change that, the font height. We're going to change. So how do we change the font height? You come to typography, then you come to font height. You see, I've dropped the font height. So you can make your font height just 1. Then you come over here to also come to typography. You come to your font height, make it 1. You can see it's now aligned. Now another thing is the text. You can see that the text here is a plain white text, right? So we come here, then we select the text color, make it white. So you can actually copy this. I'm going to show you something with Elementor. You can actually copy, you come over here and paste the style. Oh, it's going to affect the size now. So we just got to do it individually because the style, actually the font size, the font space and all of it is, everything is attributed to style. So we're just going to do it individually instead of pasting. Had it been they are the same, had it been they are having the same font and all of the attribute, you can actually duplicate it and paste. All right, so I think we're done with this. So the only thing that is lacking for us here is the background and this other get started button with this space. So how do we get to do that? This is what we'll do. We'll come here and we'll insert a form. Okay, insert a form here. Now there are several forms here. So what we're actually looking for is we have Elementor, all of these forms here. YP, let me see if this would actually work. Okay, so this form is not installed. That was the reason why it's not coming out. But there should be Elementor default form. I believe that is not also a pro. I believe it's not a pro feature. Okay. Okay, another thing to do is to go to WordPress. Okay, I think we can actually get a form here. I know Elementor used to have its own form. Yes, there used to be a form here. Let's see search. Okay, you could see we have a search box here, right? So let's search now. Because we edit this, let's see if we can actually get it edited. It's still trying to load. Okay. Okay, it's actually a form. It's not a search. It's a form. You enter the email to get started, all right? So it's not actually a search box. So we're going to remove this search box. All we needed here is a form. So how do we get a form? Let's see if Elementor actually have this as part of their free element. So if they don't, what we just need to do is just to go and look for a form plugin. To look for a form plugin, you can actually download a form plugin from the GPL plugin. You could buy a form, that is depending on whichever one you actually wanted. So we can't find any here, so let's go and see how we can download a form. So we'll go to install a form plugin. Like I explained earlier, we can actually get that done here. Okay, so let me remove this one first before we proceed. All right, so I'm just going to add a new form. Then you can actually add search for form. I use Formidable and I use Gravity form. Those two are very good. But so you could actually use some any other forms as you like. Okay, Ninja forms are also a very good one, and Formidable is also a very good one. Okay, so let me see Gravity form. I'm not that very sure if they still have something like that on the plugin. I think you just go to on their site and buy it. Okay, well, Gravity form is actually a very good form. So aside that, we can actually use Formidable forms. So for these Formidable forms, you could see. So I'm just going to install this, but I've not really believed Elementor wouldn't have a form. No. Okay, so let me see. Let me just be calm and look through. Okay. These are all essential add-on, right? You remember we installed an essential add-on. So let me take a look at this. This is a general. These are basic. These are general. So let's see. I think it's just the pro part of it that gives us those other things that is needed. Okay, so now that we've installed this, let's get it activated. So we're going to create a form there. But I've just been the beautiful or the best part of it, you know. So have this coming. Let me just check for this. It's not really working. This is Elementor. Okay, so let me get to install Elementor Pro and see. I believe there should be a form there. Okay, I think I have an Elementor Pro plugin here. I have it deleted. Okay, I will just quickly go to the website and get Elementor Pro plugin. So GPL plugin teams, like I said. So let me log in into my account. I told you I use this also, right? So I will just quickly get that done. And I'll log in and download mine. Okay. Oh, this is not really necessary for me. Or let me just search for Elementor. Elementor Pro. GPL plugin things. So while that one is loading, so let's just go on. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create the image at the back. So to do that, what we're going to do here is this. We're going to hit this, then you come to your styles. Okay, you can see the background and you can see background overlay. So for the background, we're going to select an image. We're going to select an image. So this is an image. You can see this, right? All right, so the next thing to do is to make the image position, to make it at the center. All right, now you can see that the image got cut here and here. So what we're going to do is going to go to repeat. We'll say no repeats, so that everything, you can see this, right? So the display size, we're going to make it cover. Now you can see that. All right, so or you make it automatic. You could make it automatic if the image is a very large one, because but here we have a simple image which is not that very long, so just make it to contain everything. Okay, this is for the contain and this is to cover it. Okay, so when you're done with this, then you come to the overlay. Overlay is just having a black color. That is just it majorly. You could see that we have the same feel like that of the other one. So here you could actually get it controlled. You understand? Now if you look at this, they have theirs like a kind of a gradient. Here is lighter and here is darker. So let's do ours also like that. Over here, when you come to this place, you will see the second one is gradient, right? You could actually see this. So we're going to change it to, this to black. Okay, we're going to change this to black. Then we're going to change this to a light color. You could see this, right? So this is what we do. Then you can actually change the opacity. You can see it's a little bit dark at the other side there, right? So here you can change the angle. You can notice, do you notice something? You can see something is changing here, right? So we leave it at the bottom like this. So we have a flow. Why it's more darker at the top here and it's more lighter at the bottom here, all right? So actually do this so as to have the same feel like the other one we're talking about. So there's another thing again. There's another thing here again. Okay, we selected dark color here. Okay, so this is where we can actually control its opacity, whether to make it opaque and or to make it full. All right, so when you're done, you click and this one is out. All right, so over here we're just going to make it black also. Yes, going to make it a little bit darker. You can see the flow from here is a little bit lighter and it's a bit darker here, right? All right, so here is the linear. You leave it at linear to give it that flow like a line. Okay, so when you're done, you update, then we come back to the front page, we upload, we reload. You can see we have something like this here, right? Now we don't want it to look this way. We want this to be like a transparent header, right? So we'll treat that in no time. So, but let's just go ahead. We'll treat that, don't worry, in no time we'll get that treated. Okay. All right, so having to continue, we have another stuff here. Now, there is something that is paramount to this. This could be at the bottom of this or at the top of this segment. Now you can see this. So we're going to leave this one out so that creating the second part, we're going to make it a top and a bottom. All right. So in doing the next part, we're going to create this. Then what's the layout here? There is 1, there is 2, there is 3, and there is 4. So we're going to make it 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So this is the 4 layout that we have here. You can actually see this, right? Okay, so in doing this now, we know we're using the middle two, the two at the middle, right? And the last one. So we're going to stretch this. We're going to make it a full width. You understand? So we're going to make use of this two. You can actually reduce this one. Everything should be 20, 20, or let's say 25, 25, 25, 25 to make it 100. All right, so we're going to make this 20. We're going to make this 20, and we're going to make this last part also 20 to give us that. You're going to click here, then you give it 20. All right, so the ones in the middle would have 30, that would make it 60, plus 20, that's 80, plus another 20, that's 80. So that makes it 100. All right, so having done this, then we'll come over to the website to see there's a space here and a space below. So we have this video. This is not actually a video. It was actually coded into this. There's a frame and a video at the back. But for the sake of this training, the video has been downloaded to crop this out and we fix it. So you just have to fix it into this place. Okay, so we'll do that for this place. So we'll continue with typing this. So this is a H1 element. So we'll enter it into this place. We'll enter this. Okay, it's a H1 element and it's sitting at the left. It's not at the middle. So those are things you need to watch out for. So we're doing this again. We'll come back to this place and we enter a paragraph here. So I'm going to paste the value. All right. Now take a look at this. When I hide this, you can see how everything looks. Everything fits into this. And if you see, there is the amount of padding that they had in between that this place had to drop to have player and more. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing to have the same feel. All right, so the distance between this place and this place, we're going to control it with padding and margin. Okay, all right, so the next one to do here is to insert a video. All right, so in this place we needed a video. So how do we get a video in here? You're going to select self-host so that you can select the video that would be uploaded. So this is one of the video and this is the video here, right? Okay, so I'm going to select it and you can see the video is here. So we don't want to see all of these controls here. So what are we going to do? The player controls, we're going to turn it off so that everything looks as it is on the website we are trying to clone. Okay, all right, so we're going to leave it at autoplay so that once it's loaded it starts playing. So another thing again we could see is if there's a loop, so it doesn't stop. So once it finishes it loops, it starts again. It finishes it starts afresh again. So that is the loop. So we're going to make it play on mobile phone also. Okay, now don't forget all of this we're actually doing is still on the desktop. I'm going to show you how to adjust all of these things for tablet and for tablet and also for the mobile phone. Okay, all right, so let's go on. So let's say you have a video outside to import. That's when you use this external URL. Okay, but we're not bringing any video. We have the video hosted. We have the video in this system already. Okay, so let's look at the top line, the top border and the bottom border that we saw earlier on this side. These borders here, this one here and this other one here. So we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so how do we get that done? If you could remember, we go to styles. Under styles we go to border, we select to give it a solid stuff. Then do you remember the color we had the other time? That's a hash color, right? Okay, so in order to get that color, you could actually go back. I told you in the previous video that all you need to do is to have this color written somewhere. So we should have done that actually, so we don't have to repeat some other things. But because I have it all stored in my system, I'm just going to enter the color from here. I think this is the color. That is the color here. All right, and you remember the width. I told you to disconnect this first to give everything a 0. So we'll make this 5. We make the bottom 5. All right, so give the bottom also 5 pixels. These are in pixels. You can see you can change it if you are emphasized with if you're conversant with rem, if you're conversant with m, and whichever one view port. So, but I'm very concerned with pixels, and I would really love you to stick with pixels too. It's a universal thing. It's actually good. So, if I'm going to save this, let's save it and see how it looks on the front side. See, our website is coming alive gradually. You could see we have so this looks bigger than this, right? We'll take care of it. Okay, so that is because we have this one here at the bottom 05. So I'm going to give it like this. So at the bottom, then let's see how it looks now. Okay, it's actually an addition to the one on the footer. That is the reason why it's looking too large like this. By the time we insert every other ones, everything will be normalized. Okay, now if you notice there's a space above here and there's a space here too, right? So I explained earlier in the previous video about the margin and the padding. The padding is a space from an element inward, and the margin is a space from an element outward. Okay, so always know that. It's very important. So we want to create a space inward. Now if you're creating a space inward, it would actually the effect of this space inward might affect the elements inside the whole block. Okay, so what we're going to do now is this. We'll go to we can actually have the same thing here. So from advanced, okay, so this is the margin and this is the padding. Okay, so what we need to do is to enter the padding. So for the padding, let's give it 50 and see. For the bottom, we give it 50 and you see. You can actually check, can actually inspect and see the padding over there. So let's see how much padding they have. You can see that the padding here is 54 pixels. Okay, so we're going to insert 54 pixels, both top and bottom. All right, so let's save it. So this has been saved. So we bring this to the middle. All right, so you click on this, you come to style. Oh yes, still on the layout. Then vertical alignment will bring it to the middle. Now you can see we have brought this to the middle. Then another thing again concerning this, we need to work on the padding also. So padding to the right here and padding to the left. Okay, So this side is okay, but we want to reduce this padding here. So what do? You could actually do a padding that covers the whole block, okay, and another padding that affects only the element. So let's just work with the padding with just the element. So you select the element you want to apply the padding to, then you click advanced, then you go down. When you get down, okay, you come back to okay, let me check here. Okay, that should be under advanced. Okay. Okay, in that case, let's just make use of this so it can affect everything totally. All right, so you're going to disconnect this first. Then I'm going to say padding right. Let me give it 20. Or do this way, padding left. Oh no, I'm not supposed to do that for the whole of the whole thing. So let's check the padding. Let's inspect again and see. So let's inspect. I'm clicking this icon so I can inspect it. So what is their padding? Their padding is 4.5. That is 4.5, and the entire space is 112. So the entire space is 112. Okay. So you could see the margin backward. The margin is about 148. Okay. So we don't really need to do those margin because we already had a space here already. Okay. So what we need to check again is the text font, the text size. Okay. So for the text size here is 12, while the one on top is 36. So this is for the text. This one here is 36 and is H1. Okay. Now I explained earlier in the other training video. I said your H1 to H6 actually help you in terms of SEO. Your titles are supposed to be in the H element. Okay, that is the heading element. Okay, so here is 36. So we go to font, we change it to 36, then we make it a vertical. Make it vertical. So we'll also make it bold, also to make it bold. All right, so I believe you remember why we're using vertical, right? Okay. All right, so this other one here is 12. We'll come back to this place. We can actually change the color to white and come to typography, make it 12. You can see that, right? So change this to Helvetica. Okay. So change it to Helvetica. Then we bring all this also to give it bold. All right. So let's see. Do we have the same thing here? Okay. Here's the paragraph. Oh, sorry. It's actually 18. All right, so we make our own 18 also. I'm just imagining why it's a little bit smaller. So when I leave it like this, you can see we now have this other one flowing to this other side here, right? Okay, so let me check for one more thing. Is it aligning with this? It's not really aligning with this. Let's close this up. But we needed it to align, to be on the same line with this Netflix. Okay. All right, so we've got to get ours done also. So what we're going to do is we actually leave this at okay. Oh, this place has a space on its own. I just wanted to remember that. So we would actually bring this a little bit bigger. You could see. So over there we have, make it this a little bit bigger. Then here here is a let's make it 32. Okay, here is 32, and we make here 28, while this place remains 20, and this other place remains 20, right? Okay, I think we're good with this. So the next point is to go down to the next point here. All right, so now with this you can actually duplicate this page because they are kind of similar. All right, you can actually duplicate this. You can duplicate this, then all you just need to do is just swap these two. All right, so I'm just going to bring it to this side and have it swap. But remember, there is a border at the top here, and there is a border at the bottom. And you swapping this, there is also another border. So we're going to remove the border at the top, so it will just have just one border at the top. All right, so in order to do that, I'll come to the settings. Having selected this whole block, right, I'll come to the border and I'll remove this border top. I'll remove it so that I can have just one border that this one has. Okay, so I'm going to save it, then we'll change the video here. I'm going to select another video, but of course I don't know if okay, we have it here, so I will select it. You can see we have the video here now. Then we just go there and copy the text that we have here. Okay, we're going to copy it, and all we just need to do is paste it here. Okay, and we're going to copy this one also, copy it also, then we paste it here also. So I think we're done with this. But if you notice something is, okay, this one is actually going out, but this is actually getting closer to this place. Okay, so we have the same thing looking better and okay. So the next thing to do is to match up the last point. I don't know if there's any image here. I wasn't just very sure. As watch everywhere, so I think there should be another video there. Obviously it's not just showing here. I wouldn't know why it's not showing here, but I believe there's another video here. Okay, so let me go to the tools and see. Okay, so training materials, lecture materials. How many videos do we have here? Just 2 videos, 1 image. Okay, so we just get to do what we see here actually. So we're just going to duplicate this again. All right, so when we have it duplicated, there is no need to remove anything because there's a border at the top here already. Okay, so I'm just going to swap this one back. Okay, then we copy the text that we see here, watch everywhere. I believe if we make use of a VPN, we could actually see what was there, but I'm just going to do that now so we can see the whole thing that is there. Okay, so let me copy this text and I'm going to delete that. I'm going to paste this one here. Okay, so I'm going to copy the style here. I'm going to apply it here because they're supposed to be the same style. I'm going to paste style. Okay, paste style. They really copy, then paste style here. Okay, so for this video we'll just remove it for now so we can have the same thing as seen on the website, right? So all right, so you can see the space is just as little as the other thing here. So we copy this also, then we bring it here, then I'm going to paste the value. All right, so you should be able to do that also over at your place. Be able to do that also. So stream, why is it not pasting? Okay, it's updated now. All right, so we are done with this section. This section is not actually bold. So I'm just going to go to typography. I'm going to remove the bold. I'm going to remove it there. So I'm just make it thin. Okay, so it can just stay like that. So I'm going to publish it. Then the last part of it, we're going to do the same thing to this side. So let's have this duplicated and we take it down. So take it below this. You can see there's an outline to show you what actually. So we're going to remove this video because there is an image, it's not a video. So we're going to select an image. We're going to put an image here. Then we'll select the image that was uploaded. This is the image. So this is the image. The image is here already. You can see how there's right? So we're going to do this. I'm going to download. I would actually just copy this, okay? If you check in here, there's some formats that are here, right? So okay, so I'm just going to paste this one here. Then this last part here, I'm going to put it like this. So I'm going to paste value also here. Okay. All right. Here we notice this image is a little bit bigger. So we're going to make ours too a little bit bigger. Okay, you can come here to do that. You can see width. You see the maximum width. See, so make this. Oh, we don't really need to touch this. So how to make it bigger? Actually, this is what we need to do. We make this a little bit out of this space. Okay. So if you take a look at this, you can see. All right. So you can see that the space here is a little bit little. So what we're going to do now is if you watch, everything is just in alignment like this, but they would not really have this aligned that way. So I think we're still kind of very good. So let's reduce this to, let's say, 15. I'm going to reduce this side also to 15. Now you can see what I'm talking about, right? So the space in between these two, there's a space in between these two. I'm just going to give it a little bit of the margin. I told you margin is a space, padding, sorry. So margin is a space outside, right? If you could remember. So I'm just going to say margin right. Let me give it 10. You see? So margin left 10. See? So over this side too, I'm going to do the same thing. Come over to advanced. I'll disconnect this. Then we're going to give it 10. I'm going to give it 10 also. You can see that shifted the whole of this box to this side like this. All right. So I'm going to publish it. So let's see how it looked on the front end. You could see we're having something similar, right? We have something similar. Here is double. We have double. So we're going to remove one out of it, all right? But because we're not done yet, so we need to do this other part. So this element you see here is called accordion. Okay, it's called accordion. All right, so we're going to create this part. All right, so I will just go back here and create this. We're going to create you know, this space is actually looking like this, a little space here and a little space here. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this one here. Okay, so we could just have a little space and a little space. So we're going to make this a full width. You could imagine that, right? So now we come here to pick our elements. You say accordion. So this is the accordion toggle that we really need. You could actually see this, right? So I will show you how to customize all of this to have something like this, you see. So we're going to have the same thing like this also. All right, but nevertheless, let's search for another accordion again and see if there's any other accordion we could actually make use of. Let me put this one here and see if we could have the same thing. Okay, I think this gives us actually what we're actually looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this first one. I'm going to leave this other one up here. So you can see theirs is having their own plus at this other end. How do we bring ours to this other end? Theirs is not having an arrow, so we need to remove the arrow and have it done here. So those are just some customs that we need to do. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this arrow here. You can see the arrows are removed. All right, so the arrows are removed. So let's say toggle. You see we're having the same thing like this, but theirs is at the front. So let's check in for a place where to see if we can actually change it to the front. So toggle icon position to the left. You could see now we've sent it to the front side. I believe you're getting it right. So enable toggle icon, yes. So by default it could be off on your side. So I'll put it on and I'm going to change it to the left, okay, so that this ones can actually be here. All right, so scroll on stick on click. We're not going to use some of this stuff. So content settings will come here and impute the contents that are needed here. All right, in imputing the content, there's something I'm going to use to copy all of this. In the previous video, I said something about Power Toy. I don't know how many of you have actually gotten the Power Toy, but I have Power Toy installed in my system. And using the Power Toy, let me show you, it's a very good tool that you could actually make use of. It has some other useful resources to make your work better. So these are some of the things that Power Toy has. You could see all of this. These are actually tools that Power Toy has. So I could actually copy the content of my, extract the content. You will see the shortcut Windows Shift T. So I'm going to use Windows Shift T because I can't actually copy all of this directly, okay? So I'm going to use a Windows Shift and T. Then I'll pick all of this like this and I'll copy it. So it's copied automatically. So I come to the first tab here and the tab, the tab, um, the tab, this is the tab title. I'm going to paste it here, okay? So let me do that for the second one. Do that for the second one. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to copy and paste it. Okay, I think the better thing to do is actually to have one fully customized, then we can now duplicate. I think that goes well. All right, so we have one here. We'll customize it the way we wanted it to be, then we now duplicate so we can have the same thing across all boards. So if you look at this now, all of it is just this color, right? You understand? So this color, if you take a look at this color, is the same thing with this border color, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to customize this color also. You see when you overlay, the color changes. When you take it off, it's just white. So we'll come to the style here and we say the tab style. Come to the tab. So we look for where we have white color, that's on active. So all of them should actually have the same color, which is okay. Let's see if I still have that hash here. So let me just pin it here. Okay, so I just pinned it here now. So the icon color, the normal color for this, okay, this is actually the correct. Okay, so this is the active. I'm going to change it to this stuff. So this stuff actually is actually the carrot. Okay, so I'm going to change it this way. Let me clear all of this so I can have the one I pinned, so you can see that. Okay, so this is the normal carrot color. We'll do this, do that also. Okay, so general style is okay. Tab style, so icon color, let's see Okay, the icon here is white. Okay, so when you touch down, the icon here gives you white. So the text also should be white too, right? Okay, so let's just continue. But the caret, I've not really seen where to get it done. Normal. Okay, this is the background color. Is at default, so we get it changed. That is for the background in here. All right. So, oh, let me start from here first. So let's see down. Not here. The tab style. Okay, the icon. So this is the normal. The text color. The text color should be white. Okay, text color is white. Then the other one is also white. Okay, so we're looking at active text color. It should be white also. Then icon is white. So when you hover you could see we have just the way the other one looks, right? So when we're done, come over to this. So the background color is going to be this. Okay, the text color, let's see. Okay, let me just leave. Let's check the one for this, the background color. Okay, they actually have the same color. All right, that's good. So the background color is just going to be this. Then the text color, what is the text color here? Text color is white. So the text color, I'm going to leave it at white. All right. So what next to do for this background? Okay. So for the caret was supposed to have changed actually. We'll do it this way. That is on hover. Yeah, it's supposed to change. Okay, the background. Let me change this also to this. So let me save it. Let's see how it looks in the front end. So it's still giving us white. We're not supposed to have white. The border, okay, here we can see it has a border color. Okay, so we don't need a border color because there's no border color here, right? So when you hover on it, there's another color on it. Okay, we're going to save this color also. So I'm going to save this color also. This for hover, this for the main background, and this is for the hover. So I'm going to save this. So I take this one out. So let's go back to this place. Something is actually not right yet. Content settings, go. Okay, border color, none. Don't need any border. So for each of the tab, you're supposed to normal. That's for tab. Okay, let's change this and see. I'm supposed to have this color. I'm supposed to have white. That's for the type style. So we needed caret. Okay, this is for content. So when you do this, we could see that the color changed. It's for then toggle over. Let's do background here. Put this background there. Then I'll put this background here too. Must have changed. Because every other thing here is okay. Okay, let's see. The background. Let's see if we can actually affect everything from here. So it's not really touching anything though. That is for the whole of this, right? So we don't need the background from that aspect. So we'll come back from here, go back to styles. Okay. Let's check for some other things. We'll come back later. All right. So for hover, the text color. Okay, this is for the text color and the icon. When you hover, the text color remains the same. All right. So as a content, let's check something. Let's see if this content changes. So the content here changed. Okay, so we give it the right color, which is this. All right. Let's see the one of Netflix. Is the content the same? Okay, it's actually the same with the main. Okay, this is for the content style, the text color, and the border type. So we don't need a border here. We just take it out. No border. All right. So for the toggle carrots, this is the main thing. I wonder why it's not actually changing. Yeah. This is the color. This is the carrot color. This is the carrot color. This is what we're dealing with actually. This is what we're dealing with. So when we hover on it, we're supposed to have this second color, this second one, and the background is actually supposed to be this. Oops. So when you hover, the hovering is working, but the main background is not really working. So I don't know. You will see it's not, the effect is not really, it's not coming up. So I think it just changed now. So as a carrot color, you see, did you see that? Just changed. I think this is an anomaly or something. I wouldn't know. All right, let's just go ahead and just do what we needed to do. Let's not waste much time there. But that is actually what you can do. Let me check for this and see how it looks. Okay, I think it's actually the same thing. Content style, general. So for general, we have a okay, this is for this for content style. There is the content in here. Okay, then for the carrots, so this is actually the carrots. And let's change. I don't know why it's not changing. Okay, yeah, I'm getting to see something. This is actually for icon. Okay, general, tab, style, over, yes. So probably maybe there's something else somewhere, okay, that I'm not seeing yet. Should have been done with all of this actually. The color is actually coming up on the icons, but I wouldn't know why it's not coming up on the main thing here. Let's see toggle. That's for toggle. That's content settings. Okay, I think I know. What is happening now. That's the content. That's the open. So when it's open, this is the icon. When it's closed, this is what it gives to you. This is the icon. Okay. So oops, this is what we're actually trying to work with. And that's a tab. But this is where actually we've got to do all of this. So okay, just going to publish this and I'm going to reload this page. Let's see if the anomaly is resolved. Okay, we have been logged out. No wonder. Okay, so I'm just going to log in again. That was the reason why no effect is being changed. Okay. Okay, so let's just go on and continue. Let's see the same change we were trying to work on the other time, if it's okay now. That's for the icon. Okay. That's for the general. The tab style. Typography. Icon color. Let's see something. It's actually changing this icon color. So all we needed now is the background. When you hover on it, so the background type, let's set this in now. So it's okay, it's actually working with it. Okay. So the next thing we need to do now is okay, so let's just continue. The whole of this place, let's see. If I change the background here to black, the way of this, okay, let's go back into it. Okay, so we have this set. Text is border type solid. So for the border, we just need the border for the top, and we make it 5, so that when we click, we have this border here. You remember here when you click, you have a border, right? You have this dark little border around it, right? So that is what we are trying to work on. So I'm just going to reduce this. Maybe I'll give it 2 or 1, better still. Let's make it 1. I'm going to change the color to black. You can just give us that feel. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're still trying to sort this out. I wouldn't know why it still refuses to change to. Okay, let's try something. I'm going to reload this page. It's saved already. So let's get to check it on the CSS and see. I can actually see a border around here and it's not supposed to be so. There shouldn't be a border around. Shouldn't be a border around. No border. As for the caret style, I'm still seeing a border there. Okay, let me remove this. No, that's not where the border is affecting it, so I'm just going to leave it back at 1. Then the tab style, let's see, there's a border. Yes, I'm going to remove this. Okay, then the general, then a border somewhere. There's no border. So why are we having border here? You know what, let me just delete it and let's get it done again. Okay, so this is what we have here. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to make it full width. Okay, then I'm going to look at accordion. Let me see with this usual toggle. That means we can make use of this. Can you make use of these elements, right? So I'm going to look for accordion. Let me see if we can make use of this accordion. Let's see how it looks. Accordion. So let's change. So this is the title. I think this is better actually. I think this is better. So for the accordion, we have the border width. So we don't need a border around here. Okay. So for the title, for the background, we needed this. You can see this is just what we need. Should I have known? This is just what we would have just done all the while. I think there's something wrong with the other plugin, probably. Okay, so active color. This is what we have as a active color. So all of them are just going to be the same thing. I don't know if we could have something like hover. So for the title is going to be white, which is okay. So let's see the size of each of those elements that are there. So I'm just going to inspect. Just get on this icon. I want to see the size of each of these. So here is a 18 pixel. We have 18 pixel here. So that's for the text. For the text sizes, right? I have 18 pixels. So let's just change all of this. I'm going to finish up with one, then I'm going to duplicate for other ones, right? Okay. So for this, I'm just going to paste what we have here. So let me go back there and just get it copied. Just going to have it copied. Okay, so for Netflix, then I would paste it here. Okay, let me see the title color. Okay, active. Okay, so the color is just going to be white. All right. Okay, there's something I need to check again. There is no way for us to move this to this other side. Those are part of the limitations for using free for using free plugins. Okay. Okay, let's say icon. Okay, we can actually, yes, this is good. So you can actually do that. You move it to the other end side here. All right, I think we have the same thing like this. Okay, so when you click, we have the same thing. You can see we have that color as we're supposed to have this other color here. Okay, so I think we're good. So we needed the space. That's a okay. This was border. So we needed the space for each of these things here. So that is where the padding is going to come in. Let's say 10 pixel. 10 is not okay. Let's say 20 pixel. I think let's make it 30 pixel. Is it of the same size? Okay, I think we have something similar. Or let's say 40 pixel. 40 pixel too much? Okay, let's just inspect and know the precise pixel of the pattern here. Okay, so for each of these, so the padding is 18. The padding they had here is 18. Okay, they had 18 padding. So let's just get ours also to be 18. So the text size, what about the text size? The text size now is text size is the text size is 18 also. All right, so let's just go ahead. Okay, go ahead and so for the title, we change the text to 18 pixel. You can see it's a little bit larger. So I think the inner one is 15, right? The content, the inner one is 15, and the stuff here is Helvetica. Okay. So for the title, we change that also to Helvetica. Helvetica. All right. So let's say we have all of this done. So inside the content, we needed to change the background of the content also to what we have here. All right. So for the content, okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay, the icons are kind of a little bit larger. The icons are a little bit large. Okay. So the colors of the icons, I think they're just white all through, right? Okay. So we just leave it at white. When they are active, it's also white. All right. So for the accordion, I don't want us to do border actually. Okay, border is actually okay. So we give it black border here. All right. So I think we're done with this. So we click like this, it stays in here. Then for the title, I don't know. I'm just feeling like this border is just too small. Okay, let's deal with it with the line height. Okay, so we use line height to correct it. So I'm going to make the line height to be 30. Okay, I'm going to make the line height. It's actually affecting our icon. These are just one of the issues that we see here. This one is not actually having effect on it. So I will just take it off. I'll take it off, then we'll just make the padding. So there are some certain things we just need to take. We wouldn't just follow exactly like theirs, okay? So I'll just make this, let's say 20, the line height, so it can correspond with this to this icon here. All right. So let's continue. Should we have icon size too? I wouldn't know why it was not indicated here for icon size. It's not indicated for icon size. All right, so for title, all we just need to do is increase the padding. Okay, just make it 25 at the top and at the bottom, left and right. So let's see. Okay, I think we're good here. I think we're good with what we have here. So having done all of this, let's get the contents. Let's check the content. So we'll come back to the content and we copy what is there in the content. So here we can copy everything. Then we come here. I'm going to paste value. I'm going to paste value in here. Right, we can see how it looks, right? All right, so when we're done, we not duplicate like this. Duplicate. You can see, right? So I'm going to duplicate to several. How many do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. All right, so this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. All right, so this is what we are actually trying to achieve also. Okay, so for the number 2, let me just copy the whole content inside. Then I will change everything that is on the outside. So just do it gradually. Okay, so for the third one, I'm gonna paste this. Then for the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, this is the fourth one. I'm gonna paste this. Then for the fifth one, I'm gonna paste all of this. So those parts that we wasted some little time, if you're watching this video later on, you can actually just fast forward it to where we've actually had a breakthrough. You know, some plugins might just actually not give you exactly what is needed. So you can see how much time we got wasted there. All right, so I've pasted all of this. So I just need to copy all of their names. So we could see that the space in between them is a little bit much. So we're going to use our black to make the difference, okay? Or we could actually have an option to change the space in between each of the carets. All right, so let's just continue. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to paste it here. Then the next one, I'm going to copy this one too. As a 1, 2, this is the third one. This is the second one. Okay. This is the second one. Okay. So this is the fourth one. 2, 3. So how do I cancel? So this is what is needed to be copied now. So 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth one. We're going to paste it here. Then we go ahead and copy this other one here, the fifth one. So this is what we have here. I'm going to do this. Then the last one, and have the last one here. Okay, just copy the last one also. All right, so I think we're done with this part here. So I wish we could actually make this icon a little bit larger. It would have just been better, but I wouldn't know. You could see we only had space here. There is nothing much we could actually do to the icon to make it a little bit bigger, unlike the other one that we could actually adjust. So we could just be limited with whatever we have. So this border, I'm just going to increase it a little so it can simulate the space in between them to make it look like that of Netflix. All right, so I'm going to close this. Then let's open it at this other side and see how it looks. Now we have something good here, right? Okay, I believe it's looking more like, so we've not copied this yet. Okay, so we're going to do that here too. We needed to put an H1 title right at the top here. So put an H1 title, and we change some of the other stuff that is required of us to change. So I'm going to put the text color to white. I'm going to change the font to Helvetica. Then I wouldn't know the size here, but I guess it's 38 also. I guess it's 38. Okay, this is 36 actually. All right, so we come here, we're going to enter 36 here, and we're going to make it bold. Okay, we're going to make it bold. I think we're done here. Let's see if there's any space above. Okay, there's a space above and a little space beneath. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this so we can make a direct connection, a direct adjustment to that particular one. So we'll come over here, then we'll come to, okay, we'll come to margin. I told you margin is the one outside, right? So make it margin top, make it 20. I think 20 is fine. So margin top 20. Then we can actually reduce the one underneath to give it minus so that the other one can come a little bit closer. I believe you can see what I'm doing, right? So we can also stop at minus 22. So we make the top 20 and the bottom minus 20. So let's save and see how it looks at the front. So I don't know what we could do today so it doesn't open. So it could actually give us that feel like that of Netflix originally, you get. So for this, I don't know, the space in between is just too much. But obviously, you know, Netflix did not use WordPress to build theirs, definitely. So that one may not be really, we may not be really be able to get that done fully. Okay, so let's just give it like 3. I think 3 is okay for the content. Okay, do we need pad? Okay, I think the padding is okay for that of the content. Is actually okay there. Okay, and the text also should be white. Text should be white. Okay, so I think that is majorly what we really need to do here. So what other things do we have? Then we have all of this. So let's go back to this plugin. I think we installed a form here, right? So let's take a look at the form. Netflix projects. This thing keeps logging out at any little time. It's just for security, I guess. So we're going to create a new form so we could have something of that nature also. But I'm still bent at we having a form. Google has a form. Google has a form. I say Google. Elementor has a default form that we could actually use. I wouldn't know if it was actually removed, but I so much believe there is a form somewhere. Let's just get to look at it gradually. I know I've used the form before. This is the formidable form we just installed, all right? So we wouldn't see, we just get back to the formidable form. We create a form and we just select the form from the designer. Okay. So let me see. Probably maybe that is just for the pro version. Probably. That was the pro version that I gave that form. But I'm so very sure Google Elementor also has its own form. They do. Okay. You know, you could actually use Elementor to actually build a WordPress, a WooCommerce website also, right? So these are part of the things you really need to know. So I believe in the next version of this training, We'll be looking into that. Okay. Okay. I don't really think I could actually see anything of that nature here. Oh. Okay. All right, let me just log in into GPL plugin things and download the pro version. I'll just download the pro version. All right, so just get it going. Elementor. Okay. Let's see. Okay. No. It's not the pro. All we're looking out for is the pro. Elementor page builder. Okay. This header and footer. Okay, these ones are very free. Okay, this is what we're looking for. All right. This is what we're looking for. Now, I wouldn't have to add to cart, okay? Because all I just needed to do is just to log in and log in my accounts. Then okay, Elementor Pro, Elementor Builder, okay, Elementor Pro Page Builder. All right. I thought I clicked on it now. Okay, Elementor Page Builder. So all I just need to do is download the Pro. Okay, so I'm downloading the Pro now. First install the core. Okay, so once this is downloaded, the Pro is still downloading. Okay, so I'm just going to install the Pro and we'll continue from there. Okay, so while it's still downloading, let's just go ahead and do this other one because of every one of you that would not have Elementor Pro. So I'll just continue with this. So this one would allow you to enter something here this way. Then the submit button, I wouldn't know if I would have an option to put this one beside it. Okay, let me see. There's usually an option, build, submit, and run submit key. So let's see the text for theirs, get started, right? So theirs is a get started. This icon here. Okay. Okay. So this fee is required. Alright. Alright, this is downloaded already. Okay, let me just hold on first. So I'm going to save this as a Netflix. Let's save this as Netflix. load. So I can actually get this page to be left. Okay, default. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's bring it in and see how it looks actually. So to bring that in, what you need to do is you come here. Since we have the formidable form here, just drop it here actually. Then you select your form here. Okay, so that's the way it actually works. So let's save this page and I will reload it so it can bring in the one we just created. Okay, so I'm just going to reload this. I hope I'm not going to be logged out. Okay, so we have this now. Just wanted us to finish everything with just this video. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but we just really need to finish it up. Okay, while it's loaded, then we can go back and select the form. So you will see the other form will be there. The new form we selected, this is the Netflix form we selected, right? So it's supposed to come out this way. So let's see if we can have an option to actually get it customized. We need to get this beside this other one here, but I think there is nothing much we could actually do here, you know, so everything has to be done inside this form. Okay, and there's an option I'm actually looking for, not seeing such option. So let me go back to the other stuff and search for gravity. So gravity form. So I think gravity has that ability to do that. So I'm just going to download gravity form here. Okay. Just going to download gravity form. It will bring gravity form. I think gravity form can actually do this. Or better still, let me install I would install the Pro and see if I can have the form. I think the Pro, it's the Pro that brought the form into Elementor, because that one is actually kind of very easy to configure. You can actually do that easily. Okay. All right, so let's just continue. I'm going to log in again. Netflix. Okay, so let me go to plugins and install the Pro. I'm going to install the Elementor Pro. Oh, okay, I think I need to open this Pro. Yes, that's fine. Okay, that was it. This is the reason. So I have to extract this actually. I have to extract it. I will extract it to download because it comes with the kit library and that of the Pro. Okay, so that was the reason why it wasn't showing up. So Elementor Pro. Let me just type Elementor here. So this is what I'm actually looking for. So I will come back here and I will drag it Just want to upload. I'll drag this Elementor Pro from here, drag it in here, and I will install. I believe that is the extracted Elementor Pro already. So it's installing, and I just get it activated. Okay, so once it's activated, I'll come back to this page and I'm going to reload it. Yes, no, I don't want it. I'm supposed to see the form for the Elementor Pro. Yes, I'm supposed to see the form. Okay, you can see what I'm talking about. So the Elementor Pro I just installed now gave it this form. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. Then I am going to enter the form. So now I have more options, right? So I'm going to insert it here. You can see. All right. So what we needed here is just the email and just the button. This is the button here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this side. I'm going to make it 50%. So it's just going to cut off to one side here. So how long is it going to look? So it's going to be okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to insert another page in here, okay, so that we can duplicate this. We're actually looking at how to have this place contain this feature, right? So we'll drop it in here. Then I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. We just give this 10. Then we give this other one also, give it 10 to start first. So we're going to make this one to have that is the button, right? So the submit button, this is the button here. So the submit button will just say get started. Then we'll add an icon to it. So arrow icon. So we needed an arrow right icon. So let's say right. So this is the icon I'm actually looking for. So I want the icon to be at this other end, right? So I'm say get started, and then the next thing to do is the size of this button. So I want it to be 40%. You can see it's in here. So I'll just make this email, this form field, I will make it 60%. Because it's a little bit larger. You can see, right? So it's a little bit larger. So here is a little bit transparent. Okay, so we'll do the same thing to this field. We'll come to style, we'll come to the field, we change the text color. What text color do we have here? White, right? Okay, so the text color is white. Then the background is going to be black. Then we'll reduce the opacity here. You can see this, right? All right, so we write email address as the title of the field. Email address. So that's the label, email address. Okay, we're going to remove this label. We don't really need the label. So the placeholder is going to be email address. The placeholder is the stuff inside of it. Okay, so let's check. There's a border, white border around it. So we're going to create a white border also around it. So we're going to name this Netflix form. Okay. All right, so we're going to create a border around it. So that is under style. So we should go under border. For borders, where is the border? Where is the border? Where is the border? color. This is the field. Okay, so this is the border. So we're going to just have it, give it a white border around it. Then we're going to give the radius 8 pixel for the radius. So let's save and see how it looks. So let's make it 4. I think 8 is too much. Make it 4. So for the buttons, let's increase the width also a little bit. Let's increase the width a little bit. That is the field width. So let's increase it a little. Then this is the field. Okay, how do we get to do that? So from the text now, we're just going to increase the line height. Okay. Going to increase the line height. So for the form, label. Okay, we don't have a label here. So column gap. You can see what is happening. This is the gap between that form and the button, right? So this is the row. This is the row gap. Don't really need that of the row gap, okay? So for the field, the width, this width here is the width, the border around this writing area, okay? So, and we've reduced the button. So the next thing we're going to do is to go to the button. So we'd want the button to be in the middle. Okay, you can see we're adjusting all of that gradually, but the space here is a little bit wider, right? Okay, so the button is going to be in the middle, and we're going to make the text color. Okay, the text color is already white. All right, so we're going to change the font to Helvetica. So we're going to change to Helvetica. So let's check for the font. Let's check for the font size. Okay. Let's check for the font size. So the font size here is let's see. Okay, there's not really a font size, just a button directly. So we just need to just leave that. So the font size for the inner one is 18. For this is 18. Okay, so we just get this a little bit bold. All right, so we change the color also. We don't know why it's not really coming up as it was supposed to be. So go back to the button. Okay, so we change the color of the button. So we give it red. You get, so we give it this kind of red. We use that same color of the red we saved the other time. All right, so when I hover, I have this. So when I hover, I'm supposed to have something deeper. I'm supposed to pick that actually. So don't do that with your eyes, please. Don't do that with just your eyes. Okay, so this is it. All right, so I'm done with this, right? So the space between these two now is one thing we really need to tackle again. So I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. So we could just actually make this like 15. Okay, you know, initially it was 10. So I'm going to make it 15. I'm going to make it 15. Then I'm going to draw this a little bit closer to the column gap. I'm going to reduce the column gap, the row gap also. So the space, I'm going to reduce that also. Okay, I think we are good here with the button. Let's just make it full. Yeah, let's just make it full. Oh, but it's still, we could actually give it the text padding. Yeah, I wish I could actually give it the text. This one is not really having it. Okay, the border, I'll give it 4. That's for the border around it. So that means we'll go back to that of the text, the form itself. All right, so from the content, we'll make this 70. You understand? We'll make it 70, then we'll make this other button, we'll make it 30. All right, so we make this button, we make it 30, so it can be a little bit smaller and to fit in. So we go back to the style, and we're going to make a gap in between them, just a smaller gap. Okay, so it can just really look like that for them. So we could see that it's actually in between this main line. So logically, we're just going to increase this a little. Maybe we'll make it a 20. I think 20 should be okay. Then I'm going to make this one also 20, so that we could actually have a full replica of what it is. Okay. All right, so let's see how it looks on the front end. Now our website is ready, so you can see this. So we'll still treat this one to finish everything up. All right, so let's look at the bottom part of this. How do they have theirs? Okay, there's this same form here. So the better thing to do is just to come here, we copy this. Okay, just going to copy this, or you duplicate, then you bring it down, all the way down. You understand? You bring it all the way down to this place. So that is just the best thing to do. Then there is a little text here. Just going to add those texts also into this place. So I'm just going to use this place and make it a smaller, that's maybe making H4 or something. Then under style, I'm going to bring it to the middle. So let's see, there's a space below. So we can actually do the space above this or below this other one. So I'm going to do the space above this text. So that's going to be margin. I told you the margin is the space outside, right? So we could just give this, let's say 20. That's just the top. I've disconnected it here. So 20 is just very okay. Or let's make it 10. Okay, 10 pixels. So 10 pixels is actually very okay to go. So let's see how it looks on the front end. Okay, you could see we have this border. So let's see the space. There's actually another space there, right? All right, so let's go on. We select this block, then we come to the margin here. So margin bottom, let's give it 20 also. So there's no need to put margin top. Okay, so that is just what we need to do here. All right, so we'll stop here for today, and by the next training class, I'm going to show us the responsiveness. So we're going to do the responsiveness to tablet and to mobile device. All right, so let's see how everything really looks on the front end. Okay, so this is what we have. We have successfully built this. So I think we should just finish this up and we just call it a day, or probably just try and do all of this. When you do all of this, then we would adjust in the next class. We would adjust it to have a transparent header. All right, we would have a transparent header there, and every other thing will take it up from there. I believe you've learned something today, so I would not hesitate to say see you in the next class. Thank you very much for your attention. All right, this is just what we've started doing. Okay, all right, see you in the next class.